Hi guys, thanks for watching. Elise makes a bunch of videos. Today's video has a bit of a theme and is also sort of an update, but only in a vague sense. So I wanted to talk a bit about workplace politics and this whole fake it till you make it idea, which for some things is maybe not good, but I feel like for work, new jobs, it's definitely something to keep in mind. As someone who's had a lot of jobs, and I've been thinking about making a video just naming all the jobs that I've had, but I feel like I've already done that maybe. Or I just counted them and said that it was like a bunch. Anyways, um, I think that when I was younger, especially, I used to think that the value of whatever the actual work at the workplace that I was doing was the job, but in reality, that's 30% of the job. And then 70% is all interacting with all the other people and possibly customers, depending on what field you're in, and dealing with all of the other humans that are involved. Um, so with that, I think I've had this conversation where roughly 1 in 10 or 1 in 11 staff members, as well as customers. I think maybe customers are worse depending on what field you're in, but definitely with coworkers, there's always at least one person who's just so difficult to deal with and sort of horrible all the time, and usually they're not good at their job as well, and often make your job harder. And I think when I was in school, like high school and university, there was never any class of there was career and personal preparation class, which was how do you build a resume and what education do you need to pursue in order to do the thing but they never really talked about just dealing with difficult people. And I think that it's a vital skill to have in the workforce. I'm not sure why it's not on interviews anymore now that they're doing these stupid situational questions. Ugh. I think the most important situational question is how do you deal with difficult coworkers? If you're someone who's oh, everyone's difficult, you're probably the person. Because everyone's difficult with you because you're that person. Anyways, it's taken a lot of years and I'm still working on it, but I feel like the way to deal with the difficult coworkers, the best way is to really just like act as if they're not being as difficult as they are. First, you have to recognize that they're difficult, and then you have to decide if, speaking to them about their attitude is going to be helpful, and normally it isn't. So, you pretty much just have to, work with it instead of be annoyed. But, try to be annoyed about it as little as possible, which is very difficult, challenging. And I find just having rote phrases for these people is really helpful. So things like good morning and oh, good to see you, positive little bullshit phrases that you just have on the ready, for me has been a really good tool for dealing with special people. Um, yeah, so these people usually have one or two interests, and so you find out what they are and you things that they like, and you sort of vaguely ask them about those things every so often if it's one of those workplaces where you have a lot of sort of downtime. And if it's not, like right now I'm doing farming, and if there's like someone who's challenging at times, sometimes just not reacting to their horribleness is the best way, because sometimes if someone is being ridiculous and rude and silly with you, in that moment it might take you a second to sort of decide an appropriate response, and sometimes there isn't one, and sometimes you just kind of just gotta sit there and go, okay, good. Especially if they're like superior to you, or like superior up the ladder, let's say, like if they have some sort of, or they feel that they have some sort of authority. The worst is when they don't actually have authority but they think they do. That's always the worst, because you're like, not really your job to be telling me what to do in this scenario, or sort of ever. Anyways, so I find like really good like rote phrases to have is just like, yeah, like regular non-content, non-specific things, just like, good morning, it's a beautiful day, how about that weather, like, oh, I had pasta last night, it was really not, like, just like, I don't know, just like little rote things. Giving compliments is usually helpful, because these people who are super difficult are often just like really insecure, or just like want to be the center of attention, and that's why they act out. So that, yeah. So if you give them compliments, I find, even if you don't like, not fake ones, like just like even little things like, oh, your hair looks nice, or like, oh, you look, or you, I don't know, you smell good. I don't know, like, try not to make it weird. It's hard for me to like come up with fake compliments, so I try to do real ones. Also, it's usually best to try to like stay within the truth with your like sort of rote phrases. So vague things, yeah, helpful. Yeah, just like, good to see you, good to speak with you, hope you're well. Like, just trying to like lean towards positive things, especially if it's real, like people who really like get in on negative stuff. And one last thought was on The Big Bang Theory. There's this one thing where they're trying to make an app on one episode, and Leonard and Thingy, the other main guy, have an argument because Leonard's like the head of it, but the other guy is, what is it? Sheldon wants to be in charge because like he's the smart one, and he eventually apologizes, but like, because in his mind he's doing it sarcastically. So I feel like that's also helpful if you just like just say stuff that's disingenuous, that's not too like specific, but just in your mind you're like, really, I'm just being sarcastic and this whole thing's a joke. Like, just try to laugh. Like, it's one of those you're gonna laugh or you're gonna cry scenarios with these people sometimes, so I think that's what you gotta do. But yeah, I hope you find value in that if you're in the workforce looking for work, just especially if you just started a new job with new beautiful coworkers, shiny new people, and some of them you'll find out are gonna be just awful people. But yeah, I don't know, thoughts, comments. Oh my god, I'm still working on living with the other humans at times when they're just anyways, this is really long videos, and hopefully I have enough data to upload it because I'm near the end. So this is probably my last video for like a few weeks. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you later. Peace!